Free money is fun. In student leadership development, we help you get that free money. I guess you could say we put the fun in funding. Funding. The way most organizations get this free money is by applying to the Student Assembly for an annual budget funded by student activities fees. Funding. In order to get this funding, recognized organizations must attend a budget workshop and submit the budget request packet from Student Leadership Development by the last day of classes during the fall semester. Funding. The Executive Appropriations Committee, or EAC, will have an open hearing to discuss every organization's funding and will recommend allocation amounts to the President of Student Assembly. Funding. If an individual or organization finds the funds awarded unsatisfactory, they can submit an objection to the EAC recommendations to the Senate. Funding. Finally, once the Senate has passed the presented budget, the funds will be dispersed appropriately. If an organization's request is not granted, the EAC will give reasons for the action. Funding. If I lost you anywhere in that explanation, looking at our website will most assuredly help clear it up. There's other student fee funding available specifically for attending conferences, competitions, or if you're looking for a little extra cash for your event. Funding. Alright, so conference funding. One of the most important things is knowing when to apply. It's all based on when your conference is. Head to our website to look at specifics for when your application is due based on when your conference is taking place. A couple things to note: you can only apply once per year, you can only have up to 4 students headed to the same conference, and you aren't guaranteed the maximum amount allowed for that category. Funding? Well, there's activity and event funding. To get this, you must be a recognized student organization, and we're looking for events that are unique or new that will make a positive impact at William & Mary and are open to the entire campus community. Funded. This funding can be used for lodging, travel, and contracted fees for performers, guest speakers, or publicity. Remember, these funding processes take time, so you should plan at least 10 days in advance before your event. How about competitions? We've got funding for that too. These are for competitions that arise through the year that weren't able to be accounted for in the general budget cycle. The point of this isn't for established competitions that you participate in annually. These should be unanticipated competitions that would present financial hardship for the organization. Funding. You can only apply for this funding once per year and only 2 years consecutively. And please apply early. We have so many requests, and the quicker you apply, the sooner we can notify you. Funding. So now that you know how you can get money from us, I guess we could give you some tips on how you could budget that money. Really, it's a pretty quick 6-step process. Number 1, decide what you want to do. As an organization, you should be thinking about what you want to do or accomplish in the coming term or year, and be sure to involve officers, regular members, and advisors. Step 2, determine your resources. The person overseeing your finances should create a report with hard numbers and soft numbers. Hard numbers are numbers you can confirm, like the amount of money in the account. Soft numbers are numbers based on predictions, like the amount of new member dues if you take on 10 new members. Step 3, determine your current obligations. Think of what bills you have to pay or things that must be purchased without much negotiation. You should budget these first because these funds are not optional and non-negotiable. Step 4, calculate your starting number. Take your amount of resources from Step 2 and subtract the current obligations you determine in Step 3. The amount left is what you have to work with to accomplish your goals from Step 1. Step 5, divide and allocate. This step can be the longest and most difficult part of budgeting because there are many ways to divide funds between officers and programs and initiatives. Oftentimes, the amount for this area can be small in comparison to the overall budget. One option is to allocate a specific amount and have the officer or committee find a way to make it work by either cutting their own budget where they see best or soliciting outside funding. It's usually best to have all of the officers involved in this decision. And Step 6, review, adopt, and revisit. Once the decisions have been made, your finance person should create a final document that has the comprehensive budget in its final form. The group should then dedicate time at a meeting to go over the budget and formally adopt it. This ensures all members have a similar understanding of the budget. However, budgeting doesn't stop here. You should revisit your budget often. The finance officer should provide updates on the budget at least once a month. A synopsis of how much has been taken in, Whether there is a shortfall, if additional cuts need to be made, etc., should be communicated to the group, and any changes to your budget allocations should be adopted as prescribed by your constitution. So in this video, we helped you determine how to get funding through our office and how to go about budgeting. Hopefully we put the fun in funding and maybe even the budge in budgeting.